So here we are in beautiful Guffey, Colorado. Yesterday, Derrel, you gave a great presentation to the Colorado MUFON group. It's great that you're out here in Colorado, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to chit-chat with you today. It's an honor to be speaking with you. You've been really researching ET abductions and implants and that for how many years now?
Oh, well, the implant phenomena since I was 12, because that's when it first happened. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
At least 40 years, but longer than that if you consider the fact that really people generally start studying their UFO phenomena if they have interest in it since they get their first event.
Right, right.
Which was 4 years old in my case.
Yeah. I mean, a couple things really struck me that you talked about yesterday. One, you really made us understand why you took like such a hard stance. It's like, it's one thing if ET messes with me, but it's a whole nother thing when you mess with my son.
That's right.
And so how old was your son when he had his encounter?
My son was 6 years old when he had his first encounter. I woke up at about 2:30 in the morning. I was wide awake. I didn't wake up. It's like switched on, because I think we were switched off. He was taken. I ran past his room because I knew he wasn't even in it. And I ran into the dining room, and there was my son looking out the back window. And I watched him for quite a while. He's not a sleepwalker. And I said, "David, what are you looking at?" And he said, "The little red light." Well, the red light is it's a screen memory. It's a screen image given to you to give them time to get out and do whatever they're going to do. So the event's over at that point. And so he was 6 years old, and he and my wife and others begged me to work with him on a hypnosis level. I didn't want to do that, and I knew what had happened to him.
Right. I mean, he said something to you that really kind of shook you to the core. Didn't he say, like, I don't care about people as much as I used to?
He said, my consciousness has been changed.
My consciousness
has been changed. What they've done is to change my consciousness. I no longer care for people like I used to.
Wow.
This was extremely troubling for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
So I'm a big guy. You can mess with me all you want to.
Right.
I'll figure it out or do whatever.
Right.
But when you come after my children, I don't care who you are or what you are or what you think you are.
Right, for sure. And it sounds to me, for you and your family, I think it's interesting, that you have the Irish-Scottish descent and some Native American, correct?
That's correct.
And it's been generational for you and your family. Do you think the experiences with your son David, are they still continuing?
They are continuing to some degree. One event he had in Brazil was substantial because in Brazil, basically, families live together because it's so expensive to live any other way. So David and his wife were living in one of the bedrooms of his mother's home. And the bottom line is that they heard a noise. He was asleep in the bedroom during the day. And hand of God, true story. And his wife and the mother thought, well, what in the world's going on there? They went in. There was a large being dressed in all black with a large black hat. Some people refer to him as a Mib. On him, choking him to death. He's unconscious, gagging, trying to get air. And it looked over at them and told them in the most ugly words to get out. And they did immediately. I said, you left my son alone in the room? What's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
That was one of his negative events, I guess you'd call it.
Right. So I was going to ask you that next. Like, I think from your perspective, most, if not all, these contacts are negative in nature?
Well, the issue with the alien, to understand the alien, humans are going to take it from whatever viewpoint they think it from. That if they leave you with a good memory, then it was a positive experience for you, whether it was or not. I've had people had most pleasant experiences in the world when you work with them, and there's a 7-foot praying mantis over them, and there's a witness in the room that later paints a picture of you and it. And you said, I was in the school of higher consciousness, drips of knowledge were falling upon me, and it's so positive. I mean, you don't want people like that to even know what happened. Right. So, but the real issue with the alien is simply this, because I always get asked this question, Are they good or are they bad?
Yeah, right.
What is the real answer? And the real answer is they do their job, whatever they're told to do. We have a Nordic being that treats one of our abductees so good that it's just like, oh, it's wonderful. But the same being tortures another one of our abductees. Well, how can it be? It's simple. He's doing his job. He does what he's told to do, and they will either treat you with great kindness and whatever, or they'll mutilate you with equal enthusiasm. It makes no difference because it's just what
Do you think they're like, some of them might be robotic in nature and AI kind of crossbreed? I mean, that's reported on the ranch in Elbert County that there were two types, the Nordics and these AI to-be-guide types that might have been like a hybrid kind of, which would make sense to me, right? You would send something down that was more AI in nature. Do you think that could be going on too?
From a scientific point of view, since we're far more scientific today than we used to be, we have to have more scientific answers, which is fine. But if you think anybody at the Skinwalker Ranch or anywhere else is going to control that situation, go ask Bigelow how that worked out for them.
They
left.
They're very trickster in nature.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So whatever's going on there, you better get something bigger and better than that, because your science. It's not going to be that effective. You can take pictures and do all kinds of fun stuff. You know, people do that. But the fact is that in our research, we have the idea. And it's not what I think, because what I think doesn't mean anything. As a former cop, it's what I can prove. It's what I have best evidence for. And if I get better evidence later, then that view would change. So what I believe doesn't mean anything. What I can reasonably assert is that with the gray alien, the little guy, he has an IQ of about 80. He makes mistakes. He does little things like get your clothes on backwards, put you in the wrong location, put your car in the wrong. I mean, he makes huge mistakes. So, but of those particular small ones, there are three primary kinds in my view, and based on our evidence. And one of them is that they're biomechanical. Another one is that they are mechanical. And if you see them in groups, they'll actually move as if they're like, how? And they're all, why are they doing that together? Because it's all part of a program. Others are simply biologic, and that's all there is to it. But the bottom line is, from my perspective, is that these entities are made, hatched, cloned, and manufactured, in my opinion, by someone else that's in charge, and they're higher and other than the alien. And there are all kinds of views about that. And the Mahabharata says there's over 100,000 kinds of alien species out there, and there may be, I don't know. I have no idea. But I know the 7 flavors that we're looking at here, the reptile, the Nordic, and all these others, even Bigfoot, they're made, hatched, cloned, manufactured. Their DNA comes from this planet. It's just that simple. Where do you suppose you get all that DNA? Probably from the cosmic Walmart called Earth. So the Bigfoot, in my opinion, is just like the other entities out there, the 7 primary flavors, the little gray, the bigger gray, the reptile, the Nordic, and all that. I said the DNA of each one of these guys comes from planet Earth. Where are you going to get Bigfoot DNA? Venus? Saturn, Zeta Reticuli? I doubt it. Earth is the cosmic warehouse for DNA. If you want to do transgenic work, this is the place to do it. And that's what these particular beings are. So
in a lineup of the species, you put Bigfoot right in there. He's right there at the end, the big guy.
We have 8 witnesses who saw Bigfoot in line with all the aliens in front of their so-called boss on a massive craft, 50 miles thick, 600 miles across. People would say, well, you're insane to say that. No, I was insane to even hear it. But the fact is that we have it on video, we think. Filmed by a Japanese film crew out of Japan when they were filming the moon during the mass abduction time. And that craft was massive, and instead of being critical about it, people have asked, well, what in the world they see on it? Well, Bigfoot was one of them.
Do you see, through all the work you've done, do you see a correlation between, like the Irish-Scottish connection? I've seen that often. Have you seen that often?
Yes.
And when you work with somebody that has an implant, and you mentioned not everything that people suspect is an implant, but when you work with people, do you have like a survey, I guess, of commonalities between experiencers, and what have you found with that, if any?
We do have a a survey that asked one of the questions, 45% of the people we find in these events are Native American, Indian, Irish, Celtic, many of them Cherokee.
Do you have any theories to why that might be?
I do.
I mean, okay, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, you want me to tell?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Let's go.
Hold on. I would like him to tell.
Watch her.
Got to get that in there.
I was on a radio program. Right brain people tell stories, so I'm sorry about that.
I love it.
Right brain people do that. I was on a radio program, and his PhD he kept butting in. I said, he said, your stats, that's 45% of people, Native American, Indian, Irish, and all that. And he said, well, the reason is because they're spiritual. And I said, do you want to do an interview with me, or do you want me to interview you? He said, what do you mean? I said, you keep answering all my questions incorrectly. And I would like, a different answer.
Right.
I said, look. He said, well, the Irish are so spiritual. That's the reason they do that. And I said, when you go to Notre Dame, on the big wall there, the big sign, it says, the Fighting Irish. What do you think they say that for? He said, well, Native Americans, it's because they're all spiritual. I said, read your history. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, the fact is, busting heads and taking names is what Irish, Scots, and Native Americans have done all their lives. The fact is, he said, well, I think the aliens they're upgrading the DNA of everybody. I said, well, that sounds so alien to me. I said, but the reason it's a little alien really to me is because the fact is, maybe the problem, I said, let's assume you're right and the DNA thing is totally correct. I said, they're probably downgrading our DNA because we're a problem to begin with. Don't you think that might be true?
Trying to calm you all down.
I would do that.
Take the fight out of you.
Yeah.
Take the fight out of you.
Get rid of them, whatever it takes.
That's an interesting theory, one I had not heard before or considered. So I like that. I love learning. Yeah, I love it. I love that because we kind of get pigeonholed sometimes, right? And I really try hard to keep my biases in check, but we're only human, right? So, you hear the same things. Mostly. So I love when somebody else has a new idea about something that I hadn't thought about or considered before. And you've done that several times just in the last few days. So, So other stats you might look at, I often hear people, abductees, contactees that are very musical or artistic or have a love of animals. Do you ask other questions, and have you noticed those same kind of
She's asking about the animals now.
You're so funny. Do you ask questions like that?
I do.
Okay, and what have you found with that?
Well, one of the pictures, I didn't have time, but it was in my presentation. It's a picture. I said one of the things we find with some of the abductees that certain of them have there's 6 reasons they take you. And when you discover these 6 reasons, it's phenomenal. And the reason it's phenomenal because there are certain abilities or things or propensities you have that you probably don't even know about, but they're there.
Okay.
And so people challenge me all the time. Well, again, why don't you show me some pictures or show me something? And there's a picture of me standing there with a 6-foot, rattlesnake. Now, I'm not a snake handler. I'm not into that. I don't do that kind of stuff.
I like snakes.
The snake got along with me real well.
Okay.
I've raised Burmese pythons, 18, 19 feet long, and 3 at a time, and raised mountain lions, tigers, all kinds of. We rescued all kinds of.
I think I saw a picture of you with a tiger. We were your wife.
It's okay. So the bottom line is that I put the snake down. It was in New Mexico. We were gold hunting, just having a bunch of fun, couple of guys. Airline pilot, I want to do that too. I said, well, you go do whatever you want. He walks over and the thing coils up and strikes him, trying to kill him.
Oh, no.
And he said, well, why is that? Why? And the other guy wouldn't even get out of the car. He said, why is it? I said, because he likes me.
Oh.
He knows it's okay. With you, he doesn't like you at all. Well, how do you know that? Why don't you go over and find out?
Yeah, no, thank you.
Why don't you go over and check him out and see what'll happen? So, but we see this with other people too. Animals will they have enormous fear or enormous like of abductees, and it's just the weirdest thing. I saw it in Israel. I saw it. One of the best fun examples for your audience. My senior investigator is down in Galveston at the beach, and he's a really interesting guy. He's walking around, with his hat off, of course, and, enjoying the sun and everything, and a big crane lands right on top of his head. I mean, a big, tall, white crane. lands on his head. And you think, well, that could happen to anybody. It could, but it didn't. It happened to him. And he shoots the thing off, get off my head and all that, and it flies back, lands on his head again. It landed so many times on his head, he had to go inside the building.
Oh, no.
And then it finally flew away. But it was him. It's about him. It's about you. It's, God,
Yeah, Mike Clellan talks about that with the owls, right? Contactees and owls. He's done a lot of work with that.
Agreed.
So let's go through the 6 things for our audience. I'd love the 6 things that they have in common.
Those are 6?
Yeah, there were 6. I mean, there's 7 hats you wear, but there's 6 things in
There's
common.
actually 7, but we're going to deal with 6.
Okay, well, if there's 7, let's hear 7.
No, I'm going to deal with 6.
Okay.
6 things. And again, it doesn't make any difference to me whether people agree with it or not. I can care less. I've been here for 40 years, and if I figured it out 40 years ago and you haven't figured it out yet, then, you might
Well, see, that's the beauty in it. I don't have to figure it out. You already did it.
I love smart people. They make me feel like I'm smart. So I'm hoping it wears off. And I'll get some smarts here. I'll give you all 6, just for fun of it.
Okay.
The first 2 are science and technical.
Right.
It doesn't make any difference. It's not. They're not interested. The alien's not interested at all in your scientific. They don't care if you're anybody. And they don't care. They know more than you do anyway. It's irrelevant.
Even Elon Musk. They don't have one on Elon Musk.
Isn't your science anyway.
Right.
So if you haven't figured that out, why do you think you're still trying to figure out how to back engineer stuff? If your science works on their stuff, it doesn't. You're making a huge mistake. Science and technical. It's not that it's what you do, you process differently than other people. That's the point.
Okay, so example, let's just say Elon Musk. Sometimes I think he's getting downloaded with some information, and some of our others, Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein even, perhaps. Do you think some of these abductees are using people that do have, advanced brains in science and technology, and they're helping them along the way, or no, that's not happening?
Look, people ask me, who are your abductees? I said, I got 3 NASA scientists. I said, we've got most of the people are average people, carpenters, housewives, all kinds of people, and the last of the group are people I can't figure out how they find food, and that's the truth of it.
Oh, really?
And they're all abductees. They're in the lineage is the point. Don't miss the lineage. It's not the person. It's the lineage. And that's real important.
Interesting.
So the first is science and technical, that aspect. One of my abductees, implantee, the first one removed the object from his hand. Well, ain't nothing special about me. He's wearing his old overall. He said, he looks like something out of the 18th century wearing overalls. And I said, do you feed that crap to people that you want to hear it? I said, I know better than that. I know who you are. I know what you do. That's your computer genius, and you know it, and I know it. You're completely self-taught. And later I found out this last year that the intelligence community has been visiting him and working with the information that we figured out and got off of the Moebius Strip information. And they actually took that information and him and put it, in my opinion, that computation in a rail gun. They found the round, I think it was 25 miles. It blew through the wall, and they found it 25 miles later. That's the abductee that doesn't have any. I'm just nobody. No, you're not. You feed that to the people that don't get it. And so that's just one illustration. Second group of people are people who are spiritual and psychical. They're not interested in Billy Graham. They're not interested in the top spiritual people of the world. They're not interested in the top psychics. Sorry, my friends out there. They're not interested in you. They're not interested at all. Why is that? They're looking for people with these abilities, these propensities, but they process differently than other people.
Okay.
That's the point. That is the point.
That
the
makes
last
sense.
group is the ones that I fall into, people who learn psychological or physiological things with little or no training. I've met people that were absolutely abducted or brilliant, and they were in the field of biology, and I mean, unbelievable stuff,
Right.
And they're completely self-taught. They get the whole thing by themselves.
Yeah. Now, something in your presentation too that is, I think, important for people to understand is when a person has an encounter or an abduction experience, oftentimes you won't hear about it for years, if not decades after. Why is that?
There is an app program downloaded into 99% of the people that have either seen an alien, been close to an alien, or seen a UFO up close. One of the things they do is you will destroy, ignore, or hide your own evidence. I hear that 1,000 times. People say, not me.
Right.
Oh, I had an implant at one time. I asked the lady this morning, what did you do with it? I was like, it's amazing. How did that come out of me? Wow, well, I said, what did you do with it? She thought I threw it away. You destroy, ignore, or hide your own evidence. And that's why I've got probably one of the biggest collections of any of it anywhere from a private individual. But it's taken me 40 years to put that together. I should have 10,000 times more than that. But the abductees destroy their own evidence. They do.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and for all the work that you do. I think it's so important. And, you know, it's important for people to know where to go if they, suspect an implant or anything like that. And where can they find more information about you?
You can go to alienhunter.com, thealienhunter.com, and you can get to me. Just get down at the bottom, click on it, and it'll automatically email me. Ask any questions you want. You can ask any question in the world except that one. And you don't know what it is, so you don't have to worry about that.
I don't think I knew what it was either.
I'm not sure I do either. But Katie, you're a wonderful interviewer. It's a pleasure to have been with you.
I also want to thank Seth and Anniversary Feinstein for allowing us to use their beautiful place up here in Guffey. It's gorgeous. So a big shout out to them, and thank you for all the work they do as well. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Rocky Mountain Ranch Research with Katie Paige, and we'll see you next time.